Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, and we were just taking a picture, me in the cold and you in your shorts. Oh my
In
God.
my shorts and my
That's
tank top.
that's actually the reason why I'm coming to Miami. Yeah.
How we really got her to come.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, yes.
So you were asking just before we started the recording to share a little bit about, what is BG5, and I think it's a good one, especially for this session, and since this is the kind of showcase session of what it is all about. So BG5 is actually together with OC16, it's about the group dynamics, and has put it out into the world. He has taught BG5 3 times, OC16 once in his lifetime, shortly after he passed away. And he wanted this information to not only be valuable for those that want to reach their higher self and the more esoteric spiritual people community. So he said there are 4% of the people, but also for the other 96%, this can be very helpful. Just if you know kind of how to make decisions, how to collaborate, how to communicate, right, with each other, the world can be such a beautiful place. So that's actually what he said. And when he taught it, it was kind of a study after you did PTL, after you were an analyst, then you could do BG5. And since 10 years, the BG5 Business Institute is established, where we teach BG5. And actually, we look at everything. So you first have the foundation course, just like you have Living Your Design, Rave ABC, Rave Photography. It is equivalent, right? We teach the same thing. You learn in the BG5 certification course, you learn the exact same thing as in PTL. So you learn about the individual, reading the individual chart. So a lot of our work is actually the same as human design. But the language, and that was something that Ra really put out there for others to take on. So he taught it in human design language. He said, and now you guys take it, and you make it into practical language that you can use in the business world. So yeah, his vision was for this to serve as many people as possible. So besides learning about the individual, we also learn about the partnership chart, which you also do at Human Design Analyst, but then we get to the fun stuff, to the Penta. And the Penta is the small group. So we learn about small group dynamics and large group dynamics, and then how you feel being in them, collaborating in them, working in them, and how we can organize it optimal, right? So it's called the Business Institute. Me personally, I'm not so much of a business girl. Yeah, you know me, I'm just a fun, playful girl. So I usually say it is about humans and humanity. So I have a beautiful presentation that I will, do, and in the game in Miami as well, so that we will playfully learn about how it feels and how it works in collaboration. But actually, no human is an island. We have to collaborate, and this information, the human design information, Rob put it out into the world for us, Homo sapiens and transitors, to be able to make the transition after 2027, still be able to live, because we cannot live by ourselves. We need each other, but the tribal glue, it will fall away. So it's wonderful to know yourself. That's the beginning, and that's also what the new era requires, the era of the individual, when the sleeping phoenix rises, to know yourself, and then from your true self, from your heart and soul, connect with another that you truly connect with, so that you'll find your fractal, so that you collaborate with your fractal. And also the workplace will be a lot different in the sense of, and we see it already, right? The structures are breaking down, blah, blah, blah. So it will be more project-based, and you will choose with who you work, and not because you end up being hired by a company, and then all of a sudden you get some colleagues sitting next to you, and you go like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the work, that is actually what BG5 is, right? So it has the same kind of depth as human design. But for instance, you are a generator. In Beach 5, you're called a builder. I'm also a builder. A projector is an advisor. A manifestor is an initiator. A reflector is an evaluator. And other things like more, for instance, if you think about profile, we call it public role. And then you have a martyr or an heretic, or these names don't really sound well. So the martyr is a pioneer because you trial and error and find out what works and what doesn't. Um, the hermit is a natural talent because that's in essence what you do. What else? Yeah, the heretic. The heretic is the messenger, and the messenger for the practical solution. Universalizing practical solutions. So and none of these words are invented. Like if you look up, for instance, if you take the definitive book, it's usually the second line after it says martyr, and then there comes an explanation, and that's actually the word.
Yes.
Yeah. So the people that sat down to really make the language, into day-to-day life,
Approachable,
really,
right? Yeah.
yeah. So it's honoring Ra's work 100%. We and Ra put it out there himself and wanted it to come out this way in the world. And actually, right now, so it started 10 years ago. It was about time. And at first, we only had people like human design analysts doing the Beach 5 trainings. But now we find more and more like HR people or teachers from high school, or whatever, coaches that want to add on. So it's more of a personal assessment tool, but then one that really knows.
Oh, I love.
And also to do team building and those fun things. So most people probably have worked in their workplace with DISC or Enneagram or the Big Five or whatever. You can do human design as well. So it's human design for business, but actually human design for humanity.
Yes.
Personally, I'm like, yes, we need business. It sounds like profit, money, it's not about that. It's about energy. And
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. And I know because there was a piece of dissonance for me. I was like, oh, BG5, BG5. It feels like robotic.
I see
I'm like,
that all the
what is
time.
that? And
Yeah.
then when I met you and I was like, but you're so fun and you're so lively. And this thought that I had of like business and what it is, it's just so different. And I love the way you explained
Yeah.
it. It's like you're in community. You go to yoga class, you're around people. What is happening
Exactly.
in your energy, that it's so important to learn about
Exactly.
you as an individual, but also what's happening you when you're around other people, because we
Yeah.
are around other people and
All the
having
time.
that awareness. And I really, really love that you mentioned how it is built on the foundation of, human design, the original teachings. It's there and then it's adding on to it. And it's almost in a way, it feels to me a little bit more approachable and friendly.
Oh,
It's
it
in a
is.
it's in a way
It
that it's
is.
like, okay, I can digest this. And like you're saying,
Yes.
this is for the population and we're on the material plane. How do I become profitable? Right? How do you
Yeah.
start to answer those
Yeah.
questions? So very, very, very excited about that. And you were speaking to, and if anybody doesn't know, the global cycles are shifting right now. So that's a 400-year global cycle that is shifting. That's a huge, huge change that Nathalie was speaking to, but that's a whole nother topic. But another reason why it's so important right now that we learn how to, in this shift, collaborate, how to even communicate with each other, notice what's going on inside ourselves when we're with others. So, very excited.
Yeah. So you volunteer to be a subject
Yes.
to this. We don't know the name yet, but we will find it out. Like maybe cut paste.
Right? Voiceover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm going to pull up your chart. Let me see. Let's share, and then share about you and you in the workplace, or yeah. And so these 45-minute sessions, since usually people know what I do, and I've done PTL, I've done cycles, I've done profit potential, I've done OC16, etc. So quite a bit of knowledge base. So it is just picking my brain for 45 minutes. That's what people can do. So here's the sales pitch. But then what I'm, especially for Miami, since we are going to do group experiments, etc. So for you to know, mm, oh gosh, Jess, you had beautiful words. Let me like your BG5, your so BG5 is a terminology that you may not know, but what are you designed? Where are you designed to work or to be?
Yes.
So first off, Jess, I actually do not know what you do for a living.
Everything.
Everything. Oh,
A
that
little,
is a whole world.
yes, yes. A little bit of everything. So, I would say first and foremost, being a mom, that is a
Yeah.
massive part of my life. And why human design came in so strongly for me was learning about my kids and honoring their energy and bringing that forth in them. So I would say that's not work per se, but that is definitely a big part of who I am and my driving force. I'm very, very cognizant about the future generations and helping support that and support other parents and mothers. So for work side as well, I found myself in events now, which is so exciting and a big pivot for me. That was a big change before. Before I was working in like rewiring your neural networks and coming from like behaviors and
Okay.
patterns and starting to shift and finding, what is this thing? What is my sabotaging behavior? And how do I start to shift and change that? Like, where did it serve me before in my life? And that it was valuable, and seeing how now it's sabotaging you and learning the lies of that and starting to shift that in your life so you can start to live the life that is joyful for you, starting to live a life where you can make those changes and acknowledging that it takes, that 6 week time to make a new pattern, to work with your mind. Um, Psychology is a huge thing. I have a background in marketing,
Mm-hmm.
lots of a digital advertising firm, sales, love that, love people, project management, working with teams, working with people, empowering them, getting their voices heard. How do you work best? What are your pet peeves? But I love playing games with people. With my teams, when I was a project manager, I'd make everybody write something on a piece of paper and we'd put it in a hat and we had to like guess who's this person, what is their pet peeve, so we can honor it, but like in a fun way. So yeah, and then obviously human design is a huge thing, the event, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool, cool, cool. So I don't know if you have any questions to start off or if you want me to just fly in.
Yeah, whatever you'd like to share, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So we can take a look in design where you are best suited to work by yourself as a solopreneur or as it's by the way energetically. So if I am a solopreneur but I am a therapist and I see people all the time, I'm continuously in partnership energetically. So what's your best environment? Solo, in partnership, small group, or large group? So by your own experience, where do you feel the most? Or it can be four of them or one or two of them, right? So what is your guess?
My guess. That's interesting because there's definitely a place where I like to do things and come from a place where it's my own space, my creativity to find myself connect in with what's really present for me. But I love bringing it into the world with people. I love working with people. I love collaborating, bouncing things off. Yeah,
Yeah.
feeling that spark with people.
And then is that mainly in one-on-ones, partnerships, or small groups or larger groups?
I would say one on one. And then I would also say I love community. Community
Yeah.
is huge. So it's almost like building it with one on one to bring it to the community to have it for the
Yeah.
bigger community. Yeah.
So it's really fun that you say it because you skip actually small group in what
Yeah.
you say.
Mhm.
And now for those people that know a little bit about design, so the penta area is actually this area. So between the sacral and the throat, right? You have these six channels, and channels we call strengths in Beach 5. So going back and forth between the language. and you have a penta strength, right? You have a channel here. So those of, if you don't have a BG5 consultant, they will say, yes, you are a penta person right off the bat because you have a channel. However, you are a triple split. And for a triple split, it may feel a little bit confining just being in a small team. Like, say you go to your work day in, day out, sit with the same people in the same desks in the same room every single day. You're going,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Very much so. Yes.
Because
Yeah.
triple splits you need a variety of sources, variety of information. So so your assimilation is synthesizing. Synthesizing assimilation means your definition, triple split, needs synthesizing of different information. If you're just with a few people, you don't have the opportunity to synthesize, to go out and find new sources. So it's funny that you actually by yourself also kind of skip small groups. So with everything, it doesn't say that you can't work in a small group because now you are organizing this event with a small group, right? Together with Monique and Julie. So small group is 3 to 5 people. Yeah, that is a penta. Actually, BG5 stands for base group 5. So the 3 to 5 people. So that is a penta, and that is the basic building block of any organization. So an OC16 are 3 pentas of 5 people, making 15 plus 1 alpha, 1 leader is 16. And OC stands for organizing channel. So we have 6 organizing channels. I'm actually more explaining now because I feel like I'm talking to the world and not just to you.
I love
But
it.
anyway, I think people will love it anyway.
Absolutely.
So the 45-21, the 51-25, and then the 2-14, and then the defense. So the 27-50, the 59-6, and the 360 are actually the WA channels, the OC16 leadership channels, and they each have a power base. So all of the 64 gates in a design have a specific role to play. Yeah, so we cannot have a large organization with just management people. People need to do some work as well. So usually people, if you do not know so much about design and you've heard about OC16 or the WA, you go like, yeah, you are a large group person. You are, since you have the 2750, which is for logical enforcement communication line, a leadership strength. But even if you don't have one of these channels, you still can operate very well if it is correct for you in that moment of time. If you respond to it, if you get tasks that you can use your talents, that you can use your channels in, etc., it can be perfect. So it's not to say that only people that have a full channel in the OC16 strength can work in a large organization. But you, dear, you like a large community and you like to structure it and to maybe create the so logical enforcement, that is the power base about the procedures and how we kind of operate together so that it's clear, that the structures are clear and how we operate and that it's all kind of check. So I also notice you organizing this event, and I've collaborated with you to organize Ibiza. Then you make whatever, you make the Google Drive, you make the this, you make the that. So you make it, you structure it so that we kind of, everybody knows we're on the same page in how we do things. And then so that's the other thing for a triple split, you can work very well solo as well. So despite that you really need different sources, it's very nice for you to come back to yourself and be able to, whenever you choose, go out and get some information, either online, in books, talking to somebody, maybe going next door, have a coffee, come back, whatever, right? So that you have the opportunity to organize yourself. Now you are 4-6, so the fourth line is the networker, right? So and that's what you shared. So that is something that you really use in your work as well, right? People, for having the sixth line, really trust what you bring, what you say. You have this natural trustworthiness, actually. So what you say has because people go like, she knows kind of feeling, right? So that is off the bound. So and then in partnership can work for any, actually any how do you say, any environment can work for anyone, but where you feel more comfortable or less comfortable. But for a certain period of time, you can work in any environment. It's not that I say, no, don't work in a small team. We never say that. Yeah. So, and partnership can work really well because you get your bridges, etc. But for triple slit, it's not so much needed as for a singles of just a split, right? Either small, wide, or whatever. Those we call them collaborative assimilation. They have more the need to collaborate, right? To bridge that split. You are just, you're kind of flying yourself between your different energy islands and checking it out.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
energy islands. I love that description.
Yeah, so it's actually what is, because here the energy flows,
Mhm.
and here the energy flows. But in between these islands, there is no connection, and you need someone else or the transit to make your bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have very strong, busy head.
Yes, I do. You know that one firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also individuality and you have the integration channel. So that also makes that you very much self-empowerment, like to work on your own as well. So there are always, in every environment and in looking at this, there are always several things, several aspects we take into account, right? To make the we have a beautiful word for it, comparative analysis. Yeah. Anything you'd like to ask or want to know?
Yes, that wide open ego.
Oh, and what is it that you want to know about it? Because you know a bit about design, so
Yes, with design, how does that work in the small group or the collaborative environment? Does that play and have an impact in that?
and you ask this why? Just curious.
Because that's the place I come back to.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's just a place that because it isn't a consistent like energy within myself, and I deeply feel that where I'm like these things are happening and that questioning of that worthiness almost,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
that feeling of this like it's happening, and then it's like sometimes stepping into the energy where it feels like that needing to prove, and then
Mhm.
it's like, ooh, that's interesting how that's showing up. So I'm just wondering how that shows up in like in that dynamic with the groups.
So in your open functions, your centers, is actually your shadow, but also your wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So the shadows are what you just mentioned, and there's only two functions with you. So everything comes there, and then if you have a completely open function, completely open center, um, it kind of arises in the hierarchy of it being a trigger for you. So actually, in the hierarchy of shadows, the willpower, the ego, is on the top, right? So we have a lot of am I worthy enough in the world, and the second one is the people pleasing and the emotional intelligence. Like oh, we have such a beautiful word for it. So overcompensating, yes, overcompensating and overcompensating. So in essence, our openness. So what we have defined that is you, that's your talent, and that's the student. Where you go to school is your openness, and you are here on this material plane, on this earth, to learn. You learn through your openness, but it's also where you get triggered. But hey, if we don't get triggered and everything is easy, you won't learn. You won't go up. So where there's friction, something can arise, right? Something can yeah. So it's something a little bit deeper to go into, and I don't have it on the top of my head, but actually your openness is also your profit potential. It's your shop window. It's where you meet the world and what you actually sell. So you potentially, you just shared about your work, about the energy, what did you call it, the nervous system regulation, etc. And probably how you sell it to people is a lot about selling the worthiness and that you are part of a community, etc. That's probably in your wordings. You will share that, and that is probably also what you now share about the Miami experience, right? The human design experience. So it can take you off track, yes. It slaps you in the face, and then you go again. Whoa,
Like,
there it is again. But it is
Yep.
about just having the awareness. Oh, that's my monkey mind. There it goes again. But there's wisdom on the other side. And having a completely open ego, completely open heart, or willpower, as we call it in BG5, you can be very wise, potentially very wise if you live your perfect life. But you can be very wise about the use of power and money in the world and one's word. So if people really misuse power, or if they are worthy enough, so kind of I just had to think of how you shared about meeting me and then going, oh, Beach 5 can be fun, that what I say comes from a heart. It's not because I want to sell you on something or because whatever, blah, blah, blah in the business world. That's not my game, right?
Yes.
But if there are people like that and they sell, we call it in Dutch, baked air. So it's nothing. You sell an empty box, right?
Yeah.
You'll know. Like
yeah.
you have an antenna for that.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I love that. It's interesting too, though, because with that, and especially with my people and who I keep in my network and I keep close, noticing those people, and it's almost like I have these different layers of where people are, and people like that, the heart-centered people, the people that are bringing this energy, get to be very close, and the others almost get pushed out a little bit further. Still held in love, still held there, but it's
and also in that there's nothing wrong there. So we talked about the era. So we're in the last year, 2026, before we shift an era, before we shift the background frequency of 412 years into a new one. Like we live on the cusp of such an incredible time being alive on this planet right now.
Yeah.
But this year it's astrological 1 year as well, so new beginnings, and we really are called to speak truth and be our truth, and that's probably one of the issues that might be the most challenging for you, to really stand in your truth. If you do, you will find that if it's aligned, that the outcome is maybe better than you could have ever dreamt of, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's crazy.
But
Yeah.
you also find yourself sometimes like tiptoeing, not wanting to rock the boat and make waves.
Yes. Yes.
But the energy right now really asks of us to stand in our own power, be our authentic truth. And for you, these both functions are totally about this. So,
Yeah.
but it will bring you so much, and it will bring everybody so much. And maybe people kind of distance away a little bit, but those are not your people. It's okay.
Yes.
And they will find their people.
Yeah.
Right? We're not made for the whole wide world. We each are a puzzle piece, and we're floating more and more towards like where we really belong, hopefully. And you get there through living yourself, to being your authentic self.
Yes. Yes. That. Yeah. It's been a beautiful progression for me because I think I came from a place where I had this ideology where I was like, everybody, everybody's welcome, right? And now it's like understanding that there's people for you and there's
Mm,
people that aren't, but there's nothing wrong, not having to
yes.
make them wrong or you right or you wrong and them right, right? It's just
Yeah.
understanding that there is those differences, right?
And you have the 25, so innocent. So that you have a big heart. So, and I also feel myself like I have a big heart for, anybody. So, but we also need to mind our own energy and where you
Mm-hmm.
leaks giving too much to wanting to be something or help anybody in the world.
Yeah. Learning my no.
Oh yes, that is a thing, and especially for a generator, for a builder,
Mm-hmm.
you have quite a bit of energy and quite a bit of potential in your design, so people will, ask you. Yeah, learning what is your true response is the most important key. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I just shared with you. I am going to show it just off. This is the other software that we now have.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see here, I'm just going to see if yeah, here. So now I have your design in OC16 colors. This is what we're going to do as well in Miami, right? Looking at what is your role. And when you see these little dots, that is leadership strength, right? So you have the leadership strength of logical enforcement. And actually, it's the full logical circuitry, but you do not have, there are 16 gates in that circuitry, right? So you do need your support base to be able to be the leader. So leaders as well, it's not I tell you what to do. You need the support to be a leader. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
need your people to collaborate with you. All the energy, both in small group and large group, it's not top down, it's bottom up. So
Mm-hmm.
energetically, we operate with the energy coming from the workforce. And the management, so to say, they hold the community, right?
Yeah.
That is their role. And it's not telling what to do. So the system's breaking down. They could tell you what to do in the past because we had the tribal background frequency. That goes away. And now we're just going to be humans. So now, from your authentic self, right? Collaborate.
Mm. Yeah.
And what else? I wanted to show you something. Here you can see the little penta area, you see? So this is your design. This is what you have defined in the penta. And also the 33 has a star. It is in your life work, in your incarnation cross,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's your conscious grounding, your conscious earth.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just thinking. This is, by the way, also very interesting. You have 7 sixth lines.
Mm-hmm.
So you are a 4-6, and you also have 6 second lines.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
So a natural talent, totally.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to here is the power basis actually. So you see in logical enforcement, you have quite a few blanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in a large group, you need your support because otherwise you cannot be this um, leader, this
Mm-hmm.
nurturing leader, taking care of security, right?
Yeah.
So with this overview, uh, we can also share with you, what is your role, but also who you need. The sometimes you can kind of in a large group. I'm going to go back to this one. In a large group, you can all of the sudden have um, shadows or gates that in your individual design don't really are not so pressuring. But then once you step into a group dynamics, they are pressuring all of a sudden because it gives you the opportunity to be this leader. So you need those people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the other thing, I didn't talk about that, but yeah, I will share in Miami. I have a little I will share so much in Miami.
Yeah, I'm so
So I have a
excited.
little animation. I created an animation of showing, you have your single design, which is a synthesis between your conscious and your unconscious coming together, then you have a partnership chart, a connection chart, which is a synthesis between two people. And actually, that is a transorg form. So it's not just 1 + 1, but it becomes 3, right? Because you get more out of it. And then the penta is actually this area taken from everybody, but there is like a transorg form that's pulling the strings. So I call it the penta dude or the beach 5 dude. The beach 5 dude is just playing with you, right? So I
Yeah.
created a little animation. Well, in PowerPoint, I'm not a graphical designer. And then it then transforms into large group dynamics. So by the time you get to large group dynamics, you already went into like a team, and then the Y is holding the pentas together, but you are 2 steps away from individuality, from truly, operating totally as yourself. So you may do things and say things in groups that you won't when you're by yourself or one-on-one.
Yep.
And that the fun thing is, so people always say, oh, it's a controlling mechanism or homogenizing force.
Mhm.
Yes, kind of. But with design, we can be aware of it, right?
Yes.
We are unconscious about it. The race will be conscious about it. For them, it's so sorry for those of you that don't know. There will be a new type of human coming to the earth. 2027, the ETs. No, the raves.
Yeah.
They have a little different construct, and they work best when they are in a team, right? They individually it's hard for them to operate. But with this information, we can see what happens, and we can then organize it to your benefit. So if you're pulled in one way because the energy dynamic pulls you, for instance, let's say in management in a large group, I don't know if you do that. It it won't, but say that it would. But then I can see, oh, these are your channels, these are your talents. Let me put you in a group. Let me engineer you. Let me put you together with people that it will be taken, that your, what you have as talents in your design will come to the surface. So it is an homogenizing force. These transorg forms are homogenizing, but we can be aware of it.
You know what I really love?
We never will. We are not, in hindsight, we go like, oh my God, I did it again. And I thought I learned about it. And
What's going on?
yeah. So that may always happen, but to kind of be able to read the maps, we can then do something about it.
This is just so amazing though, because I feel like it really breaks down if you're looking at like that leadership quality within myself then, right? Where it's there for me, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, like nailed that. Like that was amazing. And recognizing I need that supporting piece, right? That's the thing that helps fuel it. And that it's not necessarily like, oh, in this situation, I was able to be a good leader or help and facilitate that. And then it's like, oh, why did I mess this up here? But it's actually really recognizing that support layer. What are the things I need to be able to step into this, right? And it's not just looking at the leader as like, oh, you are a static leader. You're always a leader. It's like, what is the environment and the people you work best with so that you can be your best role that you have. And that feels
Exactly.
really good. That feels really good because for so many times I'm like, what was different? What was different? How could I do it here but not here? What's going on? And what I'm
People.
hearing really is it's that support piece. It's that extra, where did I have the people helping to allow me to do that?
Yeah.
And that feels
And
really
then
good.
if we see you, for instance, struggling in an organization, and I come in as a Beach 5 consultant, I can help you organize that, right? And then also, some people. So and you are, by the way, this is also a leadership strength, but it is a creative self-expression, right? Your best just being, and that empowers and inspires others. And you can also PR very well sell You know, the things that other people do. But you say that very well. And um, it's not so much about the old paradigm of leadership, one leader at the top. Everybody is a leader, you know, of their own talents. And then together we organize. So, and that's
Yes.
also the shift from controlling to organizing.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
OC16, the one, it is managed, quote unquote, through communication and education,
Mhm.
and not by telling what to do and controlling. If we try that and we tried that, then you have unhappy people, the workforce is not productive, etc., etc. So, and now we can read that
Yeah.
and come in with our magic wand.
I love it though.
And then
Yeah.
it's just humans as well. You know, there is also at times you have to work with what is. And so yeah, if you don't have the full power base in your organization, if you don't have people that have all the traits, we just work with what is, but you don't make yourself wrong for it not going as fluent as you are used or once
And
did.
and that is something I do. That is something I deeply do. I make myself wrong for it, but now understanding, like, this is so invaluable. And, I know so many people that use this, like, with their accounting firms. Like, I've heard of accounting firms and, like, big organizations that do this to help. This isn't just, like, how do I get into a place of, like, finding my inner self? It's like, how do I work with, like, my whole organization to do this? And it's so cool to see how applicable this is for people just working with others. Um, and the image I really got when you're talking about the transauric is it's almost like we've got blue and we've got green and it's coming together and it's creating teal. It's creating teal. It's a whole new thing. It's a whole new
It
energy.
is.
And potentially that's where we get lost because we're like, but I'm blue. I'm showing up as blue, but now the energy there with everything is teal and understanding what's happening with that. And it's
Yeah.
just, again, this is
And
so
then yeah, exactly.
amazing.
And it depends on the people that actually create from their
Yeah.
auras this transoric form. So
Yeah.
if a person steps out and another person comes in, the
Uh-huh.
organization may feel different.
Yes, because it's changed the
It's
color dynamic
changed.
that's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
this is
just
exciting.
knowing that, and then for instance, a let's say you did marketing. Let's say marketing manager was really cool, and then he's going to uh, establish his own marketing little firm,
Yeah.
has a small group, was
Yeah.
top of the bill, leading a department of 60 people, and then he starts a small organization and it doesn't work. And he goes,
Mm.
and that is because only the Penta area then is of importance. So if his talents are, and the marketing talent of a large group is a different energy, and then, yes, but he can make himself wrong. I did it for 60 people. How the,
Why can I
is it
not
not
do it?
possible now? All
Mm.
these kinds of things. So you can,
This is
I
good.
find this, yeah, just to to know what you are, but also what you are not, and what's not you, and what you can leave to others to do, right?
Yes.
Not make
Es-
yourself wrong
Yes,
for things
especially
that
that
haven't.
completely open ego that's like trying to
Yeah.
prove it's like, but I did it last time.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I mean, this is amazing. I'm almost like, where has this been my whole life? Right? It's just
And
so
there's
important.
so much more to share. So 45 minutes is not so long. What I want to give people is kind of a basis, and their most, mm, how do you say that? Their most painful
Impactful.
question or
Yeah.
struggle or
Yeah.
or or whatever you are just inspired to know about your design and in to collaborate and to etc. So just to give insight. Insight is so valuable.
It's so
Yeah.
valuable. Yeah, it's that concrete place of going, "Oh, I feel that this is different," but understanding why, and again, not making myself wrong for it.
Yeah.
Understanding, and then also having actionable steps of like, how do I help support myself? How do I help support others? And that feels really
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Um,
And that's
Amazing.
what I do when I coach people. Then you really go into the full design. Now we take like cases. their work or whatever, and then, analyze and practice. Take it out and see what happens. And
Mm. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
you're welcome. And see you in Miami.
I'm excited where you can wear shorts too.
Yay! Oh, I'm going to bring all my dresses and little funny. I actually, maybe nice for people, but my daughter is coming too, and she's half Cuban.
Yes.
And so her dad is Cuban, and we are so excited to go to Miami of all places in the US because there is the large uh, Cuban community. So we're used to the weather and the walking around, etc. In dresses and nice. I'm really looking forward to come.
So excited. Well, thank you so much and can't wait to see you in April.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching A Human Design Directory. The intention of this series is simple. Experience the reader, not just their marketing. Decide for yourself. If you felt a resonance, you'll find more information about this reader in the description below. Until next time, welcome to the Reader Series.